KVGC News Time, now 7 minutes after the hour. Time for a look at the news. It is a Tuesday. It's the 7th day of May for 2019. Well, topping the news today, the Sutter Creek City Council is moving forward with major changes to parking in that city. At last night's council meeting, members reviewed a new parking master plan for the city that sets parking, loading, and no parking zones, as well as setting parking times in city lots. The new plan, plus the changes made by the Main Street Bridge project, means changes in city parking zones. The new Main Street Bridge is designated for passenger loading and unloading only. Several loading zones and a number of red no parking zones will be removed or reduced in size, increasing the number of parking spots available, particularly on Main Street. But some no parking areas will be extended on some narrow streets off of Main Street as well. Parking times for city lots will be reduced, with more centrally located lots limited to 3 hours, and those further from the downtown core allowing 6-hour parking times. The council also approved a pair of resolutions last night that will increase city fees for both use of city facilities and increase the amount the city charges for building permits. And finally, the council also approved moving forward with a study on wastewater rates charged by the city. Such studies are typically used to set rates resulting in increased charges for city sewer services. A San Andreas man was arrested Monday morning for assault with a deadly weapon. According to reports from the Calaveras Sheriff's Office, at about 8:15, deputies responded to West St. Charles Street in San Andreas for the report of a physical fight. During the investigation, deputies discovered 40-year-old David Knapp had physically assaulted a juvenile and attempted to strike another with his vehicle. The juvenile was taken to the hospital for treatment of injuries. Knapp left the scene prior to the deputies' arrival. However, he was later arrested without incident at his residence. Knapp was booked into the Calaveras County Jail on charges of assault with a deadly weapon in his vehicle and a felony charge of inflicting injury upon a child. His bail was set at $70,000. The Sheriff's Department is asking anyone who may have any pertinent information regarding this incident to please call Sheriff's Dispatch. And the Amador CHP is currently investigating the death of the driver in an accident on Highway 88 Friday afternoon. According to the CHP, around 12:30 Friday, the driver of a 2010 Mazda was traveling westbound on Highway 88 east of Bear River when, for unknown reasons, the vehicle traveled across the roadway and off the embankment, striking a tree. The vehicle then caught fire. Passing motorists tried to extricate the driver from the vehicle, but due to the damage were unable to. The vehicle then became fully engulfed in flames with the driver inside. The driver was pronounced dead by fire crews who arrived shortly. The identity of the driver is still under investigation. A sharp-eyed neighbor helped CHP officers capture a suspected car thief. According to the San Andreas CHP, on Sunday night, witness observed two men towing a 1988 Ford Bronco off property on West Murray Creek Road and promptly called the property owner, who then called the owner of the vehicle to determine whether anyone had permission to take it. When the owner of the Bronco confirmed he did not sell the vehicle, the neighbor made it impossible for the subject to leave by blocking the roadway until CHP officers arrived. The driver who was towing the vehicle was identified as Kai Purvis of San Andreas. He told officers and maintained that he had purchased the Bronco from the registered owner. He was arrested on suspicion of vehicle theft and possession of stolen property. Well, the Calaveras County Sheriff's Office is currently investigating a weekend death of a man at New Hogan Reservoir. The man was found unconscious in a boat when first responders arrived at the scene on Saturday. CPR was administered, but the patient did not survive. Very few details have been released except that the man and his family had been camping at Hogan. The Calaveras Sheriff's Office, Calaveras Consolidated Fire, and American Legion all responded. The investigation is continuing. And a reported high-speed traffic stop with the arrest of 2 suspects in the theft at Walmart was reported last Thursday. According to Sheriff's Office reports, while deputies were en route to the store, dispatch advised them that the CHP had stopped the suspect vehicle at Highway 88 and Egaman Lane after they passed at over 100 miles an hour. 2 passengers in the vehicle, Michael Castillo and Shay Smith, were identified as being seen on video surveillance committing the theft from Walmart. The back seat where they were sitting in the vehicle, as well as the trunk, was full of merchandise that was stolen and still in the original packaging. It was later determined between the merchandise in the vehicle and the merchandise left in the parking lot, the value of the property was in excess of $2,000. The driver, Luis Morales, and the front seat passenger, Jessica Murdyke, both denied any knowledge of the theft and provided conflicting statements about why they were even in the area. Castillo and Smith were arrested for burglary and conspiracy to commit a crime. Smith was also charged with providing a false identification to deputies. She also had multiple warrants out of other jurisdictions. And another reported theft at Walmart resulted in drugs, counterfeit money, a stolen vehicle pink slip, credit cards, and checks being recovered. Walmart staff provided sheriff's dispatch with the license plate for the vehicle that the suspects fled in, which came back as a stolen vehicle out of Oakland. While deputies were responding to Walmart, others began canvassing the area for the suspect vehicle. The vehicle was located in the parking lot of Robert Hahn's Automotive by a Sutter Creek police officer. The occupants were detained and identified as Anthony Ellis and Jerry Blake. A search of the vehicle resulted in the location of 10 grams of methamphetamine, a methamphetamine pipe, shaved car keys, a multitude of property that was both new and in the packaging and still had tags on it, 5 counterfeit $100 bills, fraudulent checks, a pink slip for a second stolen vehicle, and access cards and checks in other people's names. It was determined that both the subjects entered Walmart together, filled up 2 shopping carts full of merchandise. Then Blake left the store, returned to the vehicle, and came around and picked up Ellis, who had a cart full of over $2,000 worth of merchandise. Both subjects were placed under arrest on several felony and misdemeanor charges. And Caltrans has issued a construction advisory for Amador and Calaveras County highways. Grant-funded projects on highways in both Amador and Calaveras counties will impact drivers throughout the summer as Caltrans installs rumble strips in the median and outside shoulders of local highways. The $4.2 million project in Calaveras will include segments of Highways 4 and 26. The $5.7 million project in Amador will include portions of State Route 16, 88, and 104. Roadwork begins this week and will continue through the end of summer. One-way traffic control will be used, and drivers should expect 10-minute delays in the affected areas. Rumble strips are designed to alert drivers when their vehicles drift into the other lane of traffic or off the shoulder of the roadway. And finally this morning, the Amador Fire Protection District joined forces with the Red Cross this past weekend to help sound the alarm. AFPD crews teamed up with the American Red Cross in the community of River Pines to install 31 working smoke detectors. This was part of a larger regional effort to install nearly 1,000 working smoke detectors in residential homes. According to the National Fire Protection Association, an average of 1,450 deaths occur each year in homes with missing or non-functioning smoke alarms. And that's a look at local news on a Gold Country Tuesday morning from the KVGC News Center. I'm Jim Geedy. Remember, for the latest news, traffic, and weather 24 hours a day, always visit our website, kvgcradio.com.